Hello, followers. My name is Martin Day Trades, Martin Gonzalez, and I have a trader mindset video for you guys today, and it's called My Journey, How I Got into Entrepreneurship. Now, it wasn't just one day I said, this is the lifestyle or something like that. I've been in business now with my family's business now for 10 years, and it's just starting to really solidify and show the fruits of the labor. But even before my family's business, I was selling um, CDs just to flip, back in the Napster days or even the LimeWire days, to then buy things that I wanted. When I was growing up, my parents, they gave us allowances, and my grandparents would give us 20s here, 10s here, 5s here, and then we'd all save our money for birthdays and Christmases to then buy, I lived with my two brothers, to then buy like a video game. We'd all chip in and buy it. But there came a point where I wanted certain things and I had to work for it. From that point forward, I knew I could make money by doing things. When I got into high school, my first job was as a caregiver. So I did caregiving for a while, and then I worked at Best Buy with my twin brother. He got me in there. I did that for about 6 months, and then I worked at the Desert Botanical Garden gift shop for a while. And then while I was working there, my dad, he had a full-time job working in manufacturing, precision manufacturing, aerospace industry for nearly little over about 2 decades at that point, little over two and a half decades, 3 decades. So what happened was, my father asked me if I wanted to go work part-time with him at his friend's machine shop hit. Truck Win. I forgot the machine shop name, but he was one of my dad's friends that they worked at the same job at Aerostar Aerospace for many years, and then Truck Win ended up getting some money and started his own machine shop, doing overflow work for Aerostar Aerospace, which is now part of Passive Ant Machining. They just got bought out. I'll tell you guys about that right now. So it might be a little longer video. I'm not sure how long this will take, but I'm actually going to change the screen and come this way, and then I'll get along with my story. There we go. Okay, so you guys want to take a picture of this? This is my Instagram page. You guys can go ahead and take a picture and follow if you guys want to see more trading tips and tutorials, my mindset, my thoughts, processes. So let me go ahead and get back to the story. So I accept that, and I ended up going to go work part-time with my dad, and from there I kind of noticed that how the operation was being managed and what it looked like, especially because it was a small shop, machine shop. And what's it called? So I go in there and I work with my father, and one day I'm like, hey Dad, why are we doing the work? Why are we doing the work? And your friend Truck Win is in the back playing online gambling, poker. I told him. And he goes, well, that's just what it means to be a business owner. They hire people. And at the time, my dad, he's only known what he's ever seen. And I listened to him at that time, taking it as fact. Now, I know a lot better. I've read a lot of books in the past couple of years since COVID to elevate my mindset, my knowledge, who I am as a being. And now I know it's very different being a real business owner and what that means. And if you guys have read Rich Dad Poor Dad and gone down those books, you guys know the difference between investor, business owner, employee, and self-employed. So what's it called? So one day I'm like, Dad, why don't you just ask your boss at Aerostar Aerospace? Because my dad was working at Aerostar Aerospace and then would go work at Truck's place after work. My dad was working 50-hour weeks and then he would go work another 10, 20 hours at Truck deburring. So I asked him, why don't you just ask him to cut out Truck and we'll just this is all the little machinery that we would need. So he asked his boss, one day, and I'm just kind of going fast, guys. Just periods of time go by for these moments. And my dad asked, okay, Brandon. Okay, so Brandon was the owner at the time. He had bought it from another person when it was still a smaller machine shop, and then Brandon grew it up a lot more. And Brandon at this time said, yes, David, why don't you just need your trade name? So my dad went into the city, got a trade name, DG Deburring, and we started getting overflow work. After work, instead of going to Trucks, my dad would put parts in the back of a Kia Soul, and that they had at the time, my parents, and they would drive it back to the house, and we made a little corner out of the garage, and for a little bench, and we had a little air compressor, and that's how we started. The Fordham, and then a high speed from Harbor Freight. My dad would take a little bit of abrasives and cutters from Aerostar at the time to do the part, because we didn't really know where to buy them, how much there was a cost to that. And my dad was doing it my dad was working at his friend's truck place, getting paid hourly, and we looked at the invoice before my dad asked him a trade to ask for work from Brandon, and it showed the invoice amount, and it wasn't even a quarter of what the job paid, and my dad was doing the job himself, and then I was helping him a little bit here and there. So that's when I was like, Dad, we got to cut this out, because you could be getting paid 3 times more for the work you're already doing. And so that's when he did that. And then yeah, so we started getting work from Brandon, Aerostar, everything's going good. My dad's still working full time there, coming home doing this, and we would help out after work because my dad was tired. And we'd we'd help out. It was me, and then Joe would help out once in a while. We were just washing parts or doing what we needed to do, breaking holes. And what's it called? What's another important time? So from there, we said, hey Dad, why don't you hire us full time, because we can make $40 an hour. You're paying us $8, $9 an hour. At the time that was not very good. Now I'm being paid in the 20s. I live a very comfortable life. Um, and I just remember my dad, we wanted to buy more Fordhams, and we didn't have the money to buy new. I looked on Craigslist and I found a person in like Mesa, Arizona, who had a box of older Fordhams, and we went and picked it up for like $200. And out of that box, there was 2 that weren't even really that good. But we made it work with the other 3 that we had got. They had foot pedals, all this stuff. So then we did that, and that gave us capacity to do more work. Well, at the time, because now we have more machinery. And as we're doing this, my brother and I, we're the type of people who like start organizing and really getting into like creating something, like, hey, we can take this somewhere, and then we just start growing it and growing and growing. But so we were using paper, or like regular paper invoices at the time that some restaurants use, but older restaurants, ones that aren't updated. But after a while, my dad started getting work from Norenco. I'm not sure if it's called Norenco anymore. Let me see. It's called something else, but Norenco at the time, Norenco, yeah, Deer Valley. It is. I don't think it's Norenco anymore. It's PCC Aerostructures. They bought out Norenco, so Norenco's buildings, which they had two, um, are under PCC Aerostructures now. So, um, Aerostar Aerospace um, was still giving my dad work, and then all of a sudden we get work from Norenco, and my dad goes talks to his boss Brandon, and is like, "Hey, Brandon, I can take my business full time. I haven't used my 2 weeks of vacation. Can I get that and still do work for you guys? You know, put in my 2 weeks and then get my 2 weeks of vacation." And he goes, "David, since you're leaving, you can't be here no more, and um, you lose all that stuff." And I get it, where my dad comes from now. My dad has been hurt or burned a lot, in the past, and my dad is like that. He gets very mean and upset and resentful, and he's trying to change, but I can see where he gets his firing of people kind of. He gets it from his old boss Brandon. That's the way Brandon got rid of him, and that's the way I'm gonna get rid of everybody. That's not the case. We gotta be better. Just because we've only seen what we've seen doesn't mean there's other ways of doing things out there in the world. So Brandon's like, "No, David, you lose all your vacation time and you no longer have a job here." So my dad's like, "I quit." So Brandon stopped giving him work from Aerostar Aerospace, so we were just getting work from Narenko, but it was just enough to keep my dad afloat, and he was getting stressed. When there was no work, he'd go inside and lay down and stress and breathe heavy, and just, it's like he gave up. But my brother and I, we ended up going on the internet and finding people on Craigslist, companies that had thrown up ads that they were looking for work. So we started just hitting up every machine shop in the valley, and we found a couple, and they started, giving us some work. There's never been a company like Cassivat Machining. I'll get to them later. So there was like a period of time where DG almost failed within the second year, where there was like slow for 3 months, and my dad had kind of stopped. And that's where, my brother and I kind of, Joseph went and started creating like maps and getting out there and looking for more work, calling people nonstop, sending emails. I would look up every machine shop and then go into their website and then send their people emails. Every person that had an email on their website, I was messaging them saying, "Hey, DJ Berg," I had a whole thing written out. But that's that. We came back a little bit from that, and then started growing and growing, and then about 4 years in, this was about 2-3 years, and then we met people at Marshall's Tool and Supply Company. They were really cool. They got bought out. They're called something else. Let's go back to this Marshall's Tool and Supply. They're now called
Jamendo.com.
they're supposed to be called something else, guys, and yeah, no, this is something different. But they got bought out, and it's a different name that is there. Um, so we've met people through Marshall Tool and Supply Company, and they were helping us out. I forgot his name. What's up? I forgot his name. What's up? Danny Lechuga from Marshall Tool, and he retired. So congratulations to him about 2 years ago. But Danny hooked us up, and he would always look out for us, give us connections, and we'd call people, and he'd give us recommendations. And he was a really nice guy. Really liked him. He called my dad recently. 10 years later. Essentially 7 years since meeting him, 8 years almost. Still call my dad, and they were talking for a bit. But we one day, Danny Lechuga and Marshall Tool and Supply Company. Danny called my father and said, "Hey, we're hosting a golf tournament with the distributors and the machine manufacturing companies here in Phoenix." we have an extra position available where someone backed out, and they asked if I knew anybody, and you guys were the first ones that came to mind, and I was wondering if you guys wanted to participate. And my dad's like, hell yeah. So my brothers and I and my dad, we're all really good at golf. We like to compete, and we went there with the intent to win. So when people saw our name on the leaderboards that said DG DeBurring LLC, all the machine shops would be like, well, who's this DG DeBurring? Although we didn't get first, second, or third, we got fourth place. There was 6 slots available on they had a big old banner with like these rectangles it was a really nice setup. And ours was fourth, so people were still seeing our name up there, but the number one company who won was Cassavant Machining, and we were like, damn, they got the number one spot. And then there was 2 other machine shops, but we went and started getting our hot dogs and hamburgers and chips at the end of the tournament, and we were looking for a spot to sit, and we go and sit down at a table there was nothing, nobody had taken it, and there was 8 seats. So it was my father, me. Oh no, we were only allowed two. So because we had 2 people, so that when we had another people with the cutting tools companies. Melon Tool was the one who teamed up with me as the person that was sitting with in the cart, and networking, and what's it called? At the very end, we had some seats available at the table we were sitting at, and then all of a sudden these people in red t-shirts came up and said, do you guys mind if we take a seat here? And we said no, and all that, and all of a sudden we started talking, and the one of the gentlemen said, well, tell me what your company name is, and we said DG DeBurring, and they just kind of had a little smile, and it's weird how the universe works, and they started asking us questions like, oh, how did you guys start? Oh, where did, and then my dad started talking, and he said the stuff about Brandon, and the guy, the other person that we were talking to in the red shirts, said, man, that's not right, it shouldn't be like that, and all this stuff, and all of a sudden we asked them like, whoa, what is your guys' names? We just started talking, rambling, we gave away our hand. Now I know better. Being silent is more powerful, and asking questions and listening is more powerful than talking and answering, because we gave away our hand. So then when we asked who they were, they go, my name is J.R. Cassavant, and then his brother stood up and said, my name is Ed Cassavant. And then their general manager and another person, I forgot the title, vice president or something like that, stood up to shake our hands, and they said, a pleasure. And they go, actually, we've heard about you guys, DG DeBurring. We go, what? And he go, yeah, there's a guy named Virgil that works with us that has been coming to my, talking to me every other week, once a month, saying, hey, there's this new company that you guys really need to get a hold of. They do really good work. And that was, we had been trying to get a hold of them to put something together to meet up. So at the fact that we started talking there and then opened up the gate for them to say, hey, why don't you guys actually come to our office tomorrow? Because it was Sunday, or on Monday, it was on the Saturday we had the tournament. So we were all excited. Sunday, Monday we were dressed, we're ready to go, and they turned out to be really cool people, man. They were just like, they grew out of their family's garage, JR and Ed, their dad's garage. Their dad started a single CNC manual lathe and grew it to be over 300 machines. I think at the time they had 350 employees, and all the bells and whistles, structures, everything was good. But they said, even before they said to come to their office, they were like, hey, you know what? Brandon doesn't really like us either. We're like, what? And he goes, yeah, I keep taking all their employees. We started laughing because he was like, I would just call people if I got news that they were working at Aerostar Aerospace, and I had recommendation that they were good at what they did. I called them, and his thing, He taught me money talks, bullshit walks, and he would give them a deal, offer for their work, their pay, and a lot of people with a lot of experience want to get paid better. And he goes, I remember later on, because they were both our mentors for a while. They said it's better to just pay people what they're asking for because they'll stick with you, because they're telling you their rate, what they are comfortable with. And if you pay people that are worth it what they want, they will stick with you forever. So like that made me think, because it always made me think, whatever they said I always took to heart, so we went and talked to them, and they said, hey, we'll start giving you work. We did all the paperwork, we got ready, and that was that. We were still doing paper invoices at the time. Eventually my brother Joe hooked up QuickBooks to the internet, to the computer, and we transferred digital invoices, and that's been a game changer. Keeps everything documented correctly and easy to find certain POs or part numbers, the previous prices and whatnot. And we can get schematics of year to growth, fiscal years, quarters, whatever we're looking for. We can kind of get a gauge of where we're at. But emails, everything, like we run a legit business here, guys, and it didn't start. It wasn't as it is now. It took little bits here and there, always just trying to refine and grow just slightly. How can we make this thing easier? How can we make it better? How can we make it faster? What profit can we do? Or we need help doing yard work. We don't have maintenance people, landscapers. We just have our employees, and we say, hey, go out and do the trees, and they're usually happy to get up out of doing what they're doing to go cut trees for an hour in the morning, and then so we're very what's the word I'm thinking of, versatile with how we operate our business. And I'm 2 minutes in, guys. It's probably gonna take about an hour or less. But we started doing that and just growing and growing and growing. We got kicked out of our 3-car garage. Eventually we grew and just went from a little corner on the single side garage all the way around, and we had my parents parking outside because we needed space to put the parts, put the equipment, put everything. And throughout the years we would get pneumatic precision high-speed grinders. We made the switch to electric, and then we actually went to a cast event one time and said, hey, you guys need to try these pneumatic air grinders. Your guys' grinders you're using is prehistoric, it's not precision. So I remember their deburr team at the time, when after we had the meeting with cast event about their precision grinders, we went back and they said, man, you guys made us look like fools, like talking. You guys, JR said that there was a small company that just laughed at the way we did our precision deburring, and so he bought every table a precision deburred NSK of America pneumatic grinder at the time, and it helped them out, but it also helps us out because we built a good relationship, showing them one of our secrets to the type of way we get our precision quality, the type of machinery we use. We never told them that we switched to electric grinders, because when you're on pneumatic, it runs the air constantly, and if you're grinding all day, you can have that air compressor running all day too. So it saves with electricity eventually. It saves with because they're high efficiency. It saves with the oil, because we have to fill up the pneumatic ones with oil, and then it has like spray, so it saves with like messiness. So we did that, and then once we got Cassavant, we never really ever lost them. We've been doing business with the Cassavants ever since. And actually, the Cassavant brothers just sold their company after 45 years to a corporation. It's no longer Cassavant Machining. It's called CMI Machining, or CMI Group Machining now. So they ended up growing from one single car garage, the single manual lathe, to owning almost, I think I want to say 200,000 square feet worth of shop space. They kept buying buildings cash, machines cash, they reinvested everything so that they could keep growing. And we would see them throughout the years. They saw us grow up a little bit. We've been doing work with them for 7 years. Yeah, it's been pretty nice knowing them. What else happened? Then we started getting companies like Lynch Bros, Allied Tool and Die Company, just a lot of machine shops. Just Barnes Aerospace, Cadence Aerospace, I said Lynch Bros, Adams, baseline, Adams Manufacturing. Forgot some of these machine shops, but there's been a lot that we've got, and recently we got we have a website, guys, and we created it about 3-4 years ago, and at first we didn't get a lot of calls, but now that we've been on there for a while and people have been looking up deburring companies in Phoenix, you can just type in DG Deburring and it's gonna be one of the first ones up from now on. So people are, typing deburring companies near me, and you can see, DG Deburring pops up right there. So this is, they says 3+ years. We've been in business now for 10 years. Precision Deburring Corporation, Ultra Precision Deburr, they've been around for a while too, but you can tell from the quality of their website where they stopped, giving it their all. Congratulations to them. They do all this type of work. But when you go to someone like this's website, this is top-notch website right here, guys. You guys can go in and see our website. Look, I just said top-notch, and guess what the first thing it says on here? Turn to us for top-notch precision deburring services. It sounds just like me. I guess it was, because I kind of wrote all this. DG Deburring LLC is a company Levine AZ that has been offering precision deburring and manufacturing services to various customers, including aerospace, conductors, and defense manufacturers since 2012. We treat each of our clients like family, just as we do with our team members. What we offer: you can rely on us to provide you with high-quality precision deburring services. Each time you work with us, we will strive to meet your specifications. Your team can also drop off or deliver the parts we have service to your location for your convenience. Additionally, we offer parts washing services to ensure the performance of your equipment. Why trust us? We utilize a family and relationship-oriented approach when partnering with our clients and vendors. You can count on us to build a lasting connection with you to help you with your metal deburring needs anytime. Communication and transparency are very important to us. Our team prioritizes safety and care for our employees for each job that comes in through our doors. We do this to create and maintain a positive workspace. So when we created this, guys, we're still developing as a company. Over time, we're going to be so much further from 10 years from now. We've only been in business now for 10 years. And what's the statistic with most businesses is most business fail within the first year. Another big chunk fail after 5 to 6 years. And most businesses, 95% of businesses, do not survive past 10 years. So the fact that we're still, kicking and punching and doing work, means a lot. So we can come over to the company tab now, and a reputable precision deburring company in Levine, Arizona. Our company, DG Deburring LLC, is a family-owned and operated company founded by David Gonzalez and his 3 sons, Martin, Joseph, and Joshua, in 2012 to address the metal deburring needs of several clients. We have master deburr technicians with more than 35 years of experience in precision deburring in the aerospace industry. Our team helps our clients by deburring various machine parts to their specifications. We also manufacture items to meet the special requirements of our customers. What we prioritize: we value communication and transparency every time we work with a client. You can expect us to document every step of the deburring process. Our team will also constantly communicate with you to make sure we address all your needs. Our mission: We aim to offer quality, detail-oriented precision deburring services to our clients. End users include Aerojet, Rocketdyne, Raytheon, Boeing, ATK, Parker, SpaceX, Triumph Group, ITT, Woodward, Lord, Hutchison Aerospace, Lockheed Martin, NASA, JPL, United Launch Alliance, Parker, and so much more, guys. So reach out to us. If you would like to learn more about our company and services, please feel free to get in touch with us. We would love to hear from you. So we did that, and then we have our capabilities, providing you with exceptional deburring surfaces, equipment, microscopes, overbeck machine tool, twister steel, Fordums, NSK, and Corporation's high-speed grinders, Kaiser air compressor. We have a very nice air compressor, one that costs over $5,500 to have set up. How many people are buying a $5,500 air compressor? Most people are in debt $5,500 or more. So facilities, 1,600 square foot shop, 14 workbenches, climate-controlled workspaces. Services. At DG Deburring LLC, we have been offering our deburring services since 2012. You can count on us to pick up and deliver the parts you deburr to and from your location to help you save time. You can also get rid of the foreign object and debris fog from your machine's components through our parts washing services. Our team can promise that we will continuously communicate with you every step of the way to ensure that we are taking care of your needs. To practice transparency, we will also document every part of the process and provide you with relevant updates. Industries we serve. Okay, and we already did that. Aerospace, defense, medical, semiconductor, satellite. We precision deburr parts of the world's most complex, multi-dimensional computer numerical control CNC machines. These equipment are used for businesses and focused on the following right there. Our expertise. Our team is skilled in deburring parts of various components. Equipment. We are exceptionally experienced in working with the components and machines manufactured by the following: Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, Raytheon, BAE Systems, Honeywell, Boeing, General Electric, Rolls-Royce Motor Cars, Parker Hannifin, Woodward. And then we have our contact information right here. So how cool is this? We've done parts for this helicopter right here, guys, and a lot of other helicopters. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to show you guys our website. In the beginning, it wasn't this nice. I made the first two websites. The second one was better than the first one, but even then, the second one was nothing compared to this one. So that was the website part. That was an investment we made 3 years ago, and we got that through my now fiance at the time girlfriend's sister was getting just engaged to her now husband. He hooked us up because he was working at GoDaddy and got us everything for essentially like 65% off. But now we pay the recurring yearly fee, and I don't want to bag on my dad, but my dad's never been technologically advanced, and he would get kind of upset at us for doing this, but we knew that if we kept this investment up, which was only $100, when the business is making $30, $40, $50, $60,000 a year, what is $100 at the end of the year to keep having this business up on the internet where people can see on Google? All they have to do is type in deburring near me essentially now, and our name pops up. Or if people start knowing DG Deburring, they just type in DG Deburring, it'll pop up. And this year we got 2 new companies, FMB and manufacturing, and this other company just slipped my mind, but I don't want to. I'm not gonna say it right now. But we went from charging $35, $40 in the very beginning, guys, for our services because we were so new. We were just trying to get people to like work with us. After about 5-6 years, we started upping our shop rate to $50, $55, and about 7 years in, we started charging. 7-8 years in, we started charging $60. But 10 years in now, guys, these 2 new companies called, and we have a customer base now. The only time we slowed down was during COVID, but that was to be expected. Now that everything's back to kind of normal, there's no pandemic happening, for a while, we said, hey, we know our value, we know that we have consistent relationships with Casavan and other machine shops. What's the one right? I keep thinking of the one that's like on machine shops. Adams Manufacturing Machine. Should be on 51st. Over here. Mets Fab. Yeah, I know Mets Fab, Era, Turner, Alpha Machine. Yeah, like, even all these, we could hit them all up. There's one that's like right here, 51st, and it's in this area right here. Van Buren, it should be around this area. Oh, right there, R&D Manco. That's another machine shop that we get work from, and they own both these businesses right here. But yeah, guys, we started then. Now upping our shop rate, and there was a lot of stuff that goes into this, guys. Like owning a business is hard. There's a lot of family quarrel that happened, um, especially because I'm a visionary. I'm very I don't like being molded by rules. I'm very open-minded. I like to create. I like to just see how things can happen. Um, Compared to old school ways of the old school production of working your animals to death, the people you buy with money, that's the way that bosses think, not leaders. Leaders lead by example, bosses dictate, so just know who you're working for, and if you want to keep doing that forever, and if not, then work towards changing it. But that's all we can do, really, right? That's why I'm day trading. I want to do something differently. I've been doing this for 10 years, I need a change of life. I need a change thing over and over again, expecting different results. So there's no way I'm going to ever stop day trading. But yeah, so getting into this, COVID happened, and once COVID happened, work stopped, and I didn't know anything about investing, trading, anything at that time. Financial literacy, taxes. Our tax accountant had just scammed us. We had to start doing all the P&Ls. My twin brother took over everything when it came to the IRS, figured all that out. And because if he didn't do that, there would be no DG today. That's real talk. So we ended up doing that and learning about investing and real estate and stocks and crypto and forex and private investing, owning businesses and taxes and wealth, how's wealth created. And now we find this home, this office, what you're seeing is, I just moved with my brother from my grandparents' house, and it was paid off, and we ended up fixing it up for 4 years. Nothing was ever done to it, so we completely fixed it up and have long-term renters. We only make $1,500 a month on it, but that's going to be used to offset this next property, which we did about 9-10 months ago. Moved into this property. That one's still making money, and now what we're going to do is work with my parents in our investment fund to put to an Airbnb in Pine. It's already being rented out. We're about to close on it. We just gotta finish a couple things up, list it on Airbnb, and do everything which I have my notes here. I watch a lot of YouTube with people who are doing Airbnb, and they say things that you need and start, and how to use the Airbnb website to link up with system softwares, and how to send automated emails, blah blah blah. Like, it's just another realm. But we never really stop, because at the end of the day, running your own business, who's taking care of your retirement? It's going to be the business owner. So from there, I asked my pops a long time ago. I was like, "Are you responsible for my retirement?" And he just shook his shoulders. And I knew at that point that I had to grow up from there a little bit differently. Take on responsibility, because at the end of the day, it's our parents are our parents. They're not our financial backing. Everyone's entitled to their own financial independence. And if people don't have the willingness to do something, then it's not their fault. It's just they don't have that willingness, and someone has to do it. And if someone's willing to do it, then they get rewarded. So that's where my brother and I are coming in with the investments and making money for it. But we ended up doing that. Business is better than ever right now, guys. We want 14 people in our shop. Right now we're at like 10. two part-timers. So once we get 14 people, they work for 8 hours a day, but minus time, we'll just say 7.25. That's 101.5 hours a day. And if we're charging $120 an hour for these jobs, for every one of the tables, that's $12,180 by the end of the day. Now that's not realistic because we have other customers where we charge $60, $80 jobs, $50 jobs. So we're trying to phase out the jobs that pay anything less than $50 an hour. Why? Because it's not worth our time. We could be using our time, our employees' time, to be paying a job that pays more and then getting more profit reward. So at this juncture in time, when COVID happened, I started taking on trading because I was like, I need to make money, and this is people out there making money, and I realize now trading isn't easy. It's not for everyone. It's very difficult, but that's because you're learning a new language, and whenever you learn a new language, it's always going to be difficult. You're not going to know, if I ask you to read a very difficult poem from a French poet, say, here, read this, I'm not even going to be able to pronunciate some of the words. That's what fucking any new skill set you learn, you're just not going to know. But over time, you'll have the vision in the head to know what the words mean, how to say it with the right dialect, tongue, think in the language eventually, over time. A lot of practice. So, and then one day maybe towards mastery, right? And you'll know the English language and whatever X language, right? Same with trading. So that was my mindset to hey, if I never give up, how can I lose? How can I physically lose if I'm a motherfucker that doesn't ever fucking stop? I said there's no way. I may take losses now. I may not know how to do it now, but 6 months from now I may be better. And I said that every fucking 6 months. I may be a little bit better 6 months down the road. I may be a little better 6 months down the road. And now I'm pulling profits long term out of the market just by being less greedy, less fearful, less impatient, less my anxiety. I don't really get anxiety anymore unless I'm trading new stop loss amounts, risk amounts, because I usually take 50 pip stop losses. But once I start getting down into the 40s, 30s, and 20s, I do get nervous because I'm trying to say, hey, this is a really good entry, and I'm only going to risk very little amount. But the reward is always going to be better, right? So that's been part of my journey, is just reading a lot of books. I read a lot of books, guys. I know what it takes to be successful. I know what it looks like to be successful. I read a lot of people who Phil Knight, Shoe Dog, Nike's founder. I read his Steve Jobs book, Ray Dalio's book, a lot of people's books, and then a lot of storytellers who talk about characters, leadership books. I read the Goodwill of John, leadership books, books on mindset, books on manipulation, books on books on straight up fear. What is fear? Read books on man's search for meaning. This is one from a guy who went to the Holocaust, was in there, Auschwitz, and he survived it, but he was a psychotherapist, and he would actually give people comforting words, advice to take them through their journey. But that was a whole book in itself. Vision boards, letters, having faith, learning the difference between fear and courage, learning to control my emotions a lot more. It's been hard, but breathing helps. I did meditation practices for a year and a half with warrior trading. I was trading momentum stocks in the beginning and trading level 2 and time and sales windows, which I know how to set up settings. I know how to do everything when it comes to momentum stocks. I did it for so long. I'm pretty sure if I used a level 2 screen right now, I could see who was buying and selling on the US 30 and NASDAQ, but I'll look into that to link up later to my analysis, because if that can be my edge to say, hey, I know there's going to be buyers down here, and instead of just taking, like, having faith, like, in the setup, because I backtested a lot, just taking it, but instead of seeing, you know, flashes of green, get in for the sale, but then all of a sudden you're expecting flashes of red, it's a good indicator that it's going to continue its bearish day, and it might be wise to just bail on the trade. So, those are little things that I've learned throughout history. I really enjoy reading books about people's journeys, because I get to live a lot of more lifetimes where people's people's journeys, and then take it to heart, think about things. Um, and this is kind of where I'm at, brains at, where my family's at in real estate. We have a game plan. A lot of things happened to us. The RO, when we moved from my grandparents' house, we had a contractor go out there to do work, and he did horrible work. And now we got in the touch with the ROC. He was doing he was just a really bad person and company. So now we're going to court. We essentially have it in the bag. We're just gonna have him pay us everything. But have it documented through the court, and then to have him pay for the damage that was caused through the rain, because he did the shingles bad. So we're actually gonna make money off of that. Probably offset the work that I did to my parents' house from getting a percolation test, but I don't really know, guys. All I know is that there was this person on YouTube named Robuilt who did the list, and I was just gonna follow it. But in time, we'll make back all these little investments, monies, because we still may need that percolation test later on when we actually are ready to build another property on my parents' property, which would come in handy. I think it's good for 3 to 5 years. It's an uphill battle. It's a nice journey to learn how things are done, how things work, from the home buying process to the home selling process to the property management to the business creation, LLCs, how to really think about how to put a trust, have a holdings within a trust fund, but then so we can protect ourselves eventually, so that no one can ever take our assets. Now, I hate to say this, guys, but there's always people out there that are gonna want your hard work. So if you can protect yourselves through LLCs, if you have a lot of wealth going into a new relationship, getting a what is it called? What is it called? Marriage form for wealth. I forgot what it's called, but it's one of those things where you sign something and I have to find blank my mind, but it's before you get married, talk to your fiance and you say, hey, everything that I've had up until this point, I'm going to keep separate, and everything that we do from this point forward will be the both of ours, and going the same way. Everything that you've had coming up into this point is still going to be yours, and everything that's been mine is going to be mine, but everything that we do together from this point forward, now that we are legally married, is going to be the both of ours. So that's another way to protect your assets. And with a good woman or a good man on your side, there is exponential reward for that. But sometimes even the money, like if you look at Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, the women in their lives always tend to leave. Why? Because they want to live their lives too. And if your life is very demanding with its time, what are you most passionate about? Women sometimes may just leave. Same with men. Um, so it's just one of those life lessons that I've read through books, seeing it. People change over time. Someone's not in a growth mindset. They stop growing at X time in their life, and you're continuously growing. Sometimes people get tired of the old, and sometimes they want something different. And that's a part of the process, and hopefully things don't end up that way. If you're continuously growing, you're kind of continuously keeping it interesting, showing love, commitment, acceptance, forgiveness, just a lot of things, right? Empathy, apathy, um, just good feelings and emotions towards your partner. There should never really be any room for giving them your time and doing things, and just how that works. This has been my journey, guys. When I became an entrepreneur, I was 20 years old, 30 years old right now. I recently got engaged to my fiance, Sabrina Murillo, and I never thought I was gonna make it to 30. I never thought I was gonna have a girlfriend. I never thought I was gonna be engaged. Things move fast. Things move and happen. Like time just goes. So if you guys are entrepreneurs, starting out entrepreneurs, you guys can like, comment, subscribe, ask me a question. I can help you get past certain things, give you certain books to read or whatever to continue your growth. Imagine you reading a book right now and never reading a book again. Yeah, you can get information other ways, but it's never really detailed, right? A book has a big amount of information on pages. You can listen to something for a minute, or you can actually look into something for 3-4 hours. Some books are 20 hours or whatever. Just you always want to be watching something that's kind of eventually gonna help you be a better you at the end of the day. Not all the time. I'm not saying all the time. I'm just saying, like, ask yourself, is this my ultimate? Is today my ultimate? Is this the pinnacle of who I'm gonna be? And if this is the pinnacle of what I'm gonna be, then am I just gonna get worse from this point forward? Because if this is my best, then I'm just gonna get and I'm not getting any better from this day forward. Then I'm only gonna get worse. My best had already came and it went. So you gotta ask yourself, like, that day I played basketball, was that the last day I was athletic? Because if it is, and you're in your 20s or 30s, you still got a big portion of your life in you where you were never at your best. Your best came and gone. And imagine being your best in your 20s, but only working, a basic job. So how can you show your best at something different when your opportunities that were presented to you at your best weren't going to yield anything into the future as much as you thought it was going to have? So it's like working out. Like, to work out makes me a little bit more flexible. I could be tripping and I can kind of catch myself because I can move my legs a little faster. I can have a little bit more flexibility. I'm not saying I'm strong. I can do stuff. I can do 3-4 pull-ups. I can do things. I can, like, if I fell or if I tripped or something, or if I knocked over something pushed me, like, I'm pretty sure I could catch my balance. I'm pretty sure I could come back from that. And that's just a part of being an entrepreneur too, because once you learn that you need to tie your whole lifestyle towards a healthier lifestyle, you start seeing things in your lifestyle that aren't so healthy, right? They aren't so healthy, and it's up to us to have that type of awareness to say, hey, you know what? I've been off my discipline for a month, but after a 2-year spree, it's time to get back into the gym, or it's time to time to lose the 20, 30 pounds or X amount of pounds that I gained. If I could gain it through the work, my actions that I did, then I can also lose that weight through the work actions that I will do. And just because you haven't done it or it's not showing now doesn't mean it can't happen. That's a big thing that one of my mental things is, just because I don't have it now doesn't mean I can't have it. DG to Burring, we started from one single employee, close to 14. We had 14 pre-COVID. COVID happened, we had to regrow. Golf, I loved competing. I love to compete against myself. How can I get better for my team at the end of the day, right? I know that over time I've gotten better with the household duties, yards and stuff. Like when I was growing up in my early 20s, my teens, I was very lazy. My grandparents and parents would do everything. And this is a part of the entrepreneur's journey. It's just learning how can I be someone of value for the people around me and for myself, my family, my friends, my followers. How can I be of a little bit more use to give them an easier time maybe? How can I do that to give myself an easier time maybe? Maybe I really enjoy going to an amusement park and not being all sore or breathing heavy after the first day. And then when you go to that amusement park and you've been going to the gym for X amount of time and you're feeling good and you can go 2-3 days and finally you're sore, you should give yourself a pat on the back, because all that hard work leading up to that moment to go create a good experience doing something that you don't normally do on a daily or weekly or monthly basis, you're gonna feel more proud of yourself because shit, I put in the work and now I'm doing something I don't normally do, but I'm able to do it and not be limiting myself in any way, shape, or form. And that feels good to know that, I'm 30 years old and still pretty limber. I hope when I turn 40, I'm even more ripped and limber than I am now. That would be awesome. So the only way to get that is to do the work, because who's going to bench press? Who's going to get my arms and bench press the weight for me? No one's going to do that. I have to lay down. I have to show up. I have to go out there and throw the weights up. And I'm pretty strong, guys. I'm not anything crazy, but I would say I'm more limber and athletic than a lot of people, which keeps me kind of remembering that I'm not going to be this young forever. This moment in time is the youngest I will ever be. And is this my ultimate? No, it's not my ultimate. As I'm growing, I'm going to get better with my businesses, with my mindset, with my family, with everything that I want. This is the life of an entrepreneur, essentially. It's how can I be better for the team? Good question. We've been on this recording for now 58 minutes. I'm going to conclude this, guys. Just know that this was a very simplified story of DG to Burring, my entrepreneurship, the reason I got into day trading. You guys can watch all my other day trading videos. You guys can know that I've been putting in the work. I'm only going to get better. I intend to take the FTMO challenge in January and just trade correctly. That's all I can do is just trade correctly. Remember, long term. Don't think, how can I make money? Think, how can I mitigate risk? How can I take my 1% trade? Or is today even a good quality setup? And I'd rather take a 0% day than a negative 1% day. But me right now, I'm still in the process of taking every trade that I think is possible. And I'm still long-term profitable. I just gotta cut the losing weeks out that are more than 2%, so that I can preserve capital from the winning trades that I've been making. And if you guys can comment, subscribe, I may come out with a part 2 of this, which I'll talk about other points, things that came up, which more difficult, roadblocks that came up in this journey, and then how I overcame it. Working with family, it hasn't been easy. Maybe I'll talk about the family dynamics. But the good things about the business with the family dynamics, having trust in all my family members, I trust them with everything, right? I trust them. But being annoyed with some of them, it happens. We've been annoyed as children, we've been annoyed as adults, right? Um, Things are getting better. Shop rate went up. Everybody's finally getting paid a good salary, or good, not salary, a good wage. And my brother and I are talking about giving the whole shop, minus my brothers and my dad, a raise at the end of the year, just for the hell of, like, a regular raise, but not just a regular raise at the end of the year, but a little bit bigger one. So if we're planning on giving someone 50 cents, we may say, hey, you're getting $1.50. Everyone's just going to get like an automatic dollar to whatever they were going to get a raise. Just so that, inflation happens. If someone's getting $40 extra a week, that's gas right there. Hey, we're covering your gas for the week. Now you don't have to worry. Like, it's just $40 extra. Now, if people start working overtime, it adds up. People who are getting $20 an hour are getting $30 in overtime. People who are getting 18 are getting $27 in overtime. It adds up. People are getting $22 and now getting $33 in overtime. Which, if we're charging $120 an hour, it makes sense because the business is still making money, but our people are happy. They're there working and production is going. Even if we have them pull them off jobs, guess what? They're helping do maintenance around the shop. They're helping do maintenance, landscaping work, hardscape work, going to the dump, pulling weeds, just things, right? Helping clean out the garage in my parents' house, because it does take time. And if we could have 4 guys doing it at once, we can knock something that would take 8 hours for one person to do, 2 hours for 4 people to do, so it's like, and a really good job, clean, dust, organization type of thing, right? But it's little things like that, having a solid team and treating everybody right with respect, because who doesn't like to be treated with respect? Like, that's just what being a good person is about. If you're not treating somebody with respect, you're not really being a good person, and that's sad. Why would you want to do that? Who wants to have people feel sad? Like, that's not good, right? So if you guys can just like, comment, subscribe, comment if you have any questions, if you need any help, I'll answer your questions or point you in the right direction if I don't know the answer, and get you guys started with your business idea. Go get it, guys. Go fucking get it.